School Board Candidate Forum. As a reminder, questions for today's forum have been submitted in advance by the Shorewood community. Every question will go to all candidates, and we will focus on questions pertinent to the elected office. We ask that the audience refrain from cheering or other demonstrations in support of or against any of the candidates. Please also refrain from any distracting activities, including the use of electronic devices. Today's candidates forum is being recorded in its entirety and will be made available for viewing on the Shorewood Women's Club website. Please refrain from any videotaping or videoing or recording of this event. In this afternoon, we will present two candidates seeking election for one seat on the school board. On the ballot are Andrew Frey and Ellen Ekman. We will begin with 2-minute opening statements for the candidates, followed by questions with 90 seconds allowed for each answer and 2-minute closing remarks. The candidates remember to determine the order of speaking, which isn't very hard, but it's 1, 2, 1, 2. The order of first response to a question will alternate between the candidates. One thing I wanted to say, because the opening statement will be given by Andrew first. The closing statement will start with Ellen as first. So let's begin with opening statements in 2 minutes or less. Tell us why you are running for office. I also want to say that when you have 30 seconds remaining, 15 seconds remaining, and when you must stop, our timer will be showing you those hints, those cues. So let's begin with opening statements. In 2 minutes or less, Andrew, you're going first. Tell us why you are running for office.
Hi, thank you to the Shorewood Women's Club and League of Women Voters for hosting us this afternoon to learn more about myself and Ellen. Hello, I'm Andrew Fry. I'm the parent of 3 Outlaw students, Otto, Eden, and Wyatt. Currently, I'm a managing partner at the Tour of America's Internet Bicycle Race Series. Prior to that, I was a school administrator in Cincinnati. My wife and I decided to have children. We decided that I would leave education so that I could stay at home with the kids. I didn't feel like I could be 100% to my students or 100% to my own kids, so I didn't find that I would be able to make the mix to do both, continue working in education and have children of my own. What I thought I knew working in schools was, what everybody said they know, because it's their job, you know what you're doing, you can do this. What I didn't know was what it's like to be a parent to the students that were in school.
Would you hold the mic to your mouth?
Yeah, is that better? Okay, yeah. What I didn't know was what it was like to be a parent to the students in the school. And so with that, my background in education, being a parent now, and being a small business owner, I think that those 3 things tie together well to make me a good candidate to be a school board member. People ask me why I'm running for school board. The easy answer is to say I want to help the district. That's easier to say, but harder to actually do. A second reason I'm running is because community members have asked me to run. I ran 2 years ago, I didn't win, but in those past 2 years, ever since then, I've been getting questioned, please run again. I like what you have to say. Please run, you represent my voice. My promise as a school board member will be to help our district meet its motto, excellence means more here. It'll be a focus on returning back to academic excellence for all of our students, financial stability, building stronger communication and collaboration between the district, stakeholders, and creating a new strategic plan to replace ours that expires in 2025. That's it that I have for right now, but you get more from me later.
Your turn, Ellen.
Yes. Hello, and thank you for being here tonight, this afternoon, it's not night yet. And thank you to our organizers, the Women's Club and the League of Women Voters. I'm Ellen Ekman, and I am running for my 2nd term on the school board because I believe in the importance and the value of civic responsibility, of giving back to the community by using my educational background, my experience and leadership to support the work of our school board. My educational and leadership experience includes Shorewood High School teacher for 16 years, assistant principal at Middle Lake High School for 5 years, a Marquette University professor and chair of the Educational Leadership Department, where I taught for 20 years and worked with future teachers and aspiring administrators. And now I serve as an adjunct professor at UWM in the School of Education, where I currently teach and mentor aspiring administrators. I'm proud to note, as an aside, that several of my graduate students are now or have worked in the Sherwood schools. I always like that, give back. I bring the voice of the entire community to the school board through my prior work as a village trustee, and I think that you just heard how important it is for the two entities to work together. My grandchildren are in our schools, and I want them and their peers to have the same excellent academic experiences and opportunities that their parents had when they were in the Sherwood schools. I understand the financial difficulties facing our school district and many other districts across Wisconsin. I support the 5-year non-recurring operational referendum because it allows us to maintain our academic and co-curricular programs and our community services, as well as continuing to invest in staff compensation, benefits, including steps and lanes. I recognize the vital role of the Sherwood Recreation Department, and particularly the role they play in serving the needs of all of the Sherwood residents, from children to retirees. So I look forward to answering your questions this afternoon, and if you have to leave early, please pick up one of my flyers so you can reach out to me. Thank you.
Now we're going to turn to questions submitted by the Sherwood community. You will have 90 seconds to respond. Even though Ellen just talked, you get to go first this time. According to a recent survey by the Sherwood educators and Sherwood support staff associates, over half of Sherwood teachers have considered leaving the district. What do you think this is the case? Why do you think this is the case? And how can we attract and retain top teachers and staff?
That's a very serious question, and one that faces, it means something to all of us and all of us on the school board. So one of the things that I think it would be important to do in unpacking that survey is we need to find that survey is a quantitative survey, it gives us numbers. We need to ask the why. Why are teachers feeling so uncomfortable that they leave, so disrespected that they may leave, or some other causes? Are they young families? Are they young parents? And you just heard Andrew speak about it, the issue of caring for a family and being a teacher, and whether one's able to do that and balance it and do well in both of them. Or are they teachers with older family members that they have to become caretakers for, and therefore have those pressures? We need to know that, because without knowing that, we can't respond to it. Are there ways to change how we operate so that we can help keep the teachers that we have in meaningful ways? And I think there are some. I think it has to be something explored by the school board and the teachers. I think there is definitely the question underlying all of this is compensation and benefits. And we have to be careful to always offer competitive benefits and competitive salaries that are that go across all the employees in our situation. In terms of attracting more teachers, hope we can talk about it some more, because we all need to work on attracting more people into the educational field. Thank you.
Andrew?
You know, I've been going to the school board meetings for the last 7 years, and I hear the teachers coming to the school board meetings asking for things. I don't think that their voices are being listened to. I think that we need to, spend more time respecting what's happening in the classroom by the people who are in the classrooms. We need to learn what their needs are. We need to know what materials they need, what support they need. We can't just say, here, do this program, it's on you. If the results don't work, it's still on you. We need to learn, it needs to be a bottom-up model where we're going from inside the classroom out to the wider range of the school district. We can't just throw programs at the teachers and tell them, this is what you need to do. You don't have much say in what we're doing because we're not asking you. We need to work with the teachers, not against the teachers. We can't blame the teachers if things don't go right. We need to learn why they're not going right and continue to do that.
Okay, so because we're alternating between the candidates, who goes first? Andrew goes first with this next question. Sherwood Intermediate School performs below the level of the other schools in the district. What do you feel are the most important issues to be addressed in this regard, and how would you address them?
Yeah, that's a big concern for me right now. I have a 6th grader who will be going into SIS. Another thing is when I've been out knocking on doors or just randomly meeting people on the street, they'll say, I have a middle schooler, so you know what's happening. And to have that thought that you know what's happening, it's kind of sad because I want my students to be able, and my children, my kids, my peers, to have a great education. And what I'm getting is that parents aren't being listened to. Their students are not getting a great education there. We need to start from the inside. This is an adult decision-making problem. It's not a student problem. It's not a teacher problem. This is an adult board, school administration problem. We need to be putting the programming in that reaches those students at that age group to meet their needs so that our success can continue on. We have students that are successful in the middle school, in elementary schools, and then they come into the middle school, and the results just plummet. And I've heard board members be like, well, those results don't matter. It's not important. To those students, it's important. To those parents, it is important. We need to listen to that. We need to take this serious. We can't just ignore it and hope that they'll come back as in the high school. Our proficiency rate is less than 50% is proficient in math. When they were in 6th grade, it is above that 50%. We can't just ignore it and hope that the problem goes away and say it's going to get better in the high school.
Okay, Ellen, the question is about Schroeder Intermediate School.
Okay, Schroeder Intermediate School services about 300 students in 7th and 8th grade. Just think about that age group. The data that I'm assuming they're referring to is from state report card. I'm going to go back to the question, sorry. And the state report card gives some data at a given point in time. We look at that data, we take that seriously, we, the school board, and the administrators. And we've done a number of things to answer the questions that that data may show about middle school students, or 7th and 8th grade. One, we've had a new principal, first I should say, we have a new superintendent who's laser focused on data. We have a new principal in the intermediate school. And this principal is focused on teaching and data and using it appropriately. And some of the things that you might not know that have changed already with the new principal. We have a no cell phone usage policy in the intermediate school. No cell phones. We actually think that they have made some changes already. Our fast bridge tests that just came out that are administered by our school in the school 3 times a year, 7th and 8th grade scores have gone way up. We're excited about that. When the data went up on the screen, all of us looked up and said, look at that, isn't that exciting? We also have short high school students, intermediate students. 3 of them just won civic awards from the federal government. We have a state teacher of the year at the intermediate school. The short intermediate school band performed at the Fox game.
I was going to suggest you try holding it straight.
Like tipping it towards you.
Tipping.
See if it helps.
Too late, I have to stop. I'm sorry to do this, I'll come back to it. The intermediate school is doing some very, very exciting things, and we are not ignoring scores. We are putting them in place, resources to address that.
Okay, Ellen, might as well stay.
Oh, I was
What would you do to address dropping resident enrollment?
What would I do to address declining enrollment of residents?
Declining resident enrollment, which I'm assuming also includes declining kids in the school system too.
I think declining enrollment comes from something that is related across the state and is across the country. We have a declining birth rate. There are fewer children being born. All right, we can look at the data. I don't think there's a lot that I can personally do about increasing the birth rate. All right, so we need to understand that. Now, the question is, that we're seeing, like, for kindergartens, and these numbers are modestly accurate. Don't go out and say, Ellen Meckman said this. But assume that 150 seniors are graduating. We may only be getting 120 K-5. And so that's a smaller cohort coming into the school district. And we're mindful of it. And you need to be mindful of it. Because it means that there's a few fewer students coming in at the beginning. Now, this is going to fluctuate and does all kinds of things, and we don't know who will suddenly move into the district and who might not. We pay close attention to it because the ability to have our school district and to do the things we want to do and have an excellent school programs is based on how many students we have in the school. And so we like to do, and we are doing a lot of marketing. We try and get the word out about what we have to offer, and to encourage people to move into the district. I think you've heard a lot of that discussion among the trustees, how to increase the population in the district as a way to address declining enrollment.
Okay, I'm going to ask both candidates to try to hold the mic to try to get rid of the echo or somehow. Now the question is, what would you do to address dropping resident enrollment?
I think we first have to start with talking to the students who are the parents who have students in Shorewood who no longer go here. We need to learn why they chose to leave the Shorewood schools but continue to leave in Shorewood. I hear things about dropping birth rate or less students in the community. Since 2019, Shorewood has lost 205 resident enrollment students. Fox Point has gained 79, Glendale has gained 22, Mequon has gained 27, Cedarburg has gained 139, and Grafton has gained 103. Some of those students that left Shorewood might be in those schools. So I don't think that it's just a problem about, it's less birth rate, a lower birth rate. That's not the only problem. The problem is that we haven't gone out, we haven't asked the community, we haven't asked the families, why are you choosing to choose another school other than Shorewood? You still live here. Why aren't you sending your students here? We need to ask those questions, we need to learn from that, and we can make the changes that reach out to those families that have left, or those families who are looking to move into the area, and they look at the state report card because that's what's available to them. They see option A or option B. They see declining scores in Shorewood, they see less opportunities, or they can go to another district that is increasing test scores, showing growth with their students. And that's not happening in Shorewood. Parents are choosing other districts. We need to fix the problems that are causing people to leave our schools or not choose our schools in the first place.
Okay, Andrew, you're going to get the first shot at question number, the next question. How would you create better communication between residents and the board, and how would you prioritize resident input?
Yeah, I think that resident input is so important. I think that it's been very tough to communicate with the board or to communicate with the school district. Prior to this year, I never got a response from the superintendent when I sent a letter. This year, I've talked to the superintendent multiple times. She is out in the village. She is showing herself. I think that we need to let people know, hey, this is the best way to communicate with the district. We need to go out and introduce ourselves. We need to go out and make the time to listen. A big part of the communication is listening. You can't just talk to people. You have to listen to what they have to say. You have to listen to what their needs are. You have to make them feel welcome. At school board meetings, you can ask a question, and I understand that it's not on the agenda, so you need to, it can't be spoken about, that kind of stuff. But we need to make a way that when those questions are asked in public, that there's also a public response. If somebody asks a question, the other people who are listening have that same question in their head, or now they have that question in their head, and they would like to get an answer for it. I think we just need to be more willing to communicate. We haven't had committees on a regular basis since I've been in the district for the last 6 or 7 years. I think that committees are a way to make the public feel welcome and have their thoughts communicated between the district and the community.
Okay.
I'm going to try harder to hold this steady. Sorry about that. Let me address the communications. The Shorewood School District sends out tremendous amount of materials. Some might say maybe we have so many going out that it's too much. I don't think that's the case. But a parent, let's take a parent. They will get a letter from the principal of the school. They'll get letters from the superintendent. The superintendent is now sending out a district newsletter that everybody can get. We try and communicate through new avenues, just to get general communications. One of the new avenues is we're part of the village manages weekly email. There's a little section about the schools that we've asked them to include in your tax bill that you got, that you didn't want to open with a lot of relish, but there it is. There's a letter from the village, explaining what your taxes go to, and now there is one, since I've been on the board, it's one of the things I managed to push for, is now one from the school board, talking about what we do. I know for a fact that one of the places it's not getting to is renters, and I went and spoke to the group. So that is an issue, and we're going to look at ways that we can get that information to renters. In terms of committees, we don't call them per se committees, or we have a referendum committee. The school board members go to listening sessions at every single school. We have a whole cycle of them. We talk to multilingual parents of multilingual children, parents of students with disabilities, parents at each grade level. We are constantly, as school board members, meeting and talking to people and communicating, and we hope that you are able to catch up with us.
Ellen, we'll get first shot at the next question. It's a little bit longer. In your opinion, how well is the district currently serving special education students? And what do you see as the opportunities and challenges?
Say the last part again. How are we serving and
Okay, how well is the district currently serving special education students? And what do you see as the opportunity and challenges for special education in the future? It's a complex question.
it's a complex topic, so it takes a complex question to answer that. We, as many of you may know, school districts and schools must respond to the federal mandate on educating all students with special needs and disabilities. And we do that, and we take that work very, very seriously. Through our programming, through our teachers, through our resources. We have special meetings just with parents of children with special needs. So we're very pleased with that. I will tell you what is an issue, is that the state did not increase the funding for special needs. Our state legislature is not funding schools, and one of the areas they're not funding is special ed. So we are making the best use of our resources, and those resources go to special needs students pretty quickly because it's a federal mandate. So I think we are doing an incredible job in lots and lots of ways, and one of the ways is that our desire and our determination for inclusion means that we're including students of all abilities. And that's important in the work we do and where those students are seen in the school district. And students with disabilities are valued and sought out, and you'll see them on the stage, you'll see them in all kinds of other activities that are appropriate for them. So I think we're doing very, very well. If we had more money from the state legislature, we might be able to do even more things.
Andrew?
Yeah, this is a very complex question. And I kind of have the opposite view. And I haven't had experience with the special ed department on a personal basis with my students or anything, with my children or anything. But I have been out in the community. I have had neighbors. I have had those conversations, learning that services have not been met, that the students are not being, that their IEPs are not being followed, that parents are having to fight for it. We used to be a destination district for students with disabilities. We have parents moving out of the district now. That is a sad state. And it's not, yeah, it's I don't know, it's our most vulnerable students, and they're not getting the services that they should be receiving. I think that the method of providing services has made a difference for some of these students, and it's not reaching them the way that the methods were in the past. So I think we're missing it. I think that we need to take a deeper dive into what really needs to be done with these students, what services they really need. We need to provide those services with professionals in the schools that reach out to those students.
Andrew, you're going to get the next question. First, should open enrollment be used to make up for declining Shorewood resident enrollment? And if not, how does the district make up for the loss in revenue?
I don't think that open enrollment students should make up for the decline. We shouldn't say we have 200 seats in the district, we need to fill 200 seats. The funding that comes with open enrollment students is not equal to the funding that comes with district enrollment students. If we're getting funded at about 60%, you're not going to ask a teacher to take a 60% pay if they have 25 students that are on open enrollment. So I don't think that it's necessarily the way to combat our lower district resident enrollment, I think that we need to start looking at it realistically. Like, if we don't have the number of students in the district, we need to make some changes. These changes might be different sizes of classrooms, it might be different configurations within the district, but we need to start looking at other ways. We can't just rely on the 60% funding that's coming with that student, that's coming from another district. So we're costing another district funding when we take those open enrollment students in. Open enrollment could be used to fill in 1 or 2 seats. The projection now is that we're going to have full 25-person classes in the high school by the time the students get to high school. That is not a sustainable way of funding our district without having to raise taxes to meet the needs of those students in the funding that comes with them.
Let me start by first saying that open enrollment is a state-funded system that is available to all parents in all school districts to choose to send their child to another public school. And another public school may see something specific in that other public school. It does not in any way cost us more money. We have, let's say we have a certain number of students in kindergarten, but we don't have enough to run all the classes at the size unless we increase the size, as resize the school. So one of the ways you can do that is there are empty, we can fill that with a student from another district. There's no cost to us. We would have had to spend all the money to run that classroom, to run the school, to heat the school, to pay the teachers. By bringing another student in, it allows us to continue to offer all of our students the same kind of resources and the same kind of programs in the theater and the drama and the extracurricular and everything else that our students want and that students from other school districts want to come for. And that's why I see open enrollment as something that we can use. We use it very, very carefully. The school board has data presented to them, and there's long discussions about how to do this, whether to do it, and whether not. I think Andrew alluded to it. If we don't accept additional students, what do we cut? And how much do we cut? Because that's the alternative.
Okay, yeah, your turn again. Do you support bringing back resident committees, including, for example, the finance committee? Why or why not?
The structure of the way we organize our school district has a fancy term, coherent governance. It's a term or an organizational platform. You can call it a model of organization. You can call it a framework. But it allows the school board, and it should, before I answer that part, it's used successfully in school districts across the state and in other states. School boards by state statute have 2 functions. Hire a superintendent, that's number 1, and explain to the superintendent in very clear direction, these are the policies that must be followed per state law. And you must design programs that will do that. Those are the 2 things. And so what we have structured on the school board is a set of operational expectations, that these are the operations we want to see the superintendent put into place. We have results expectations, these are the results we expect to see, and then the superintendent and the administrators bring those forward. If they're not where they are, then we can do something. Now, in terms of committees, we use committees for very specific functions. So the committees that we have, I mentioned, is the Budget Workshop Committee, Budget Workshop. We've had committees for the referendum. We had committees this year on the calendar. We asked people to come step forward and meet with us. We met 3 times. We were very successful in looking at school calendar for next year. So we have specific things. And as I mentioned earlier, the school board goes out into the schools to talk to lots of people, to get ideas and to listen to them.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'm completely in favor of bringing back committees, standing committees from one year to the next, not just for special referendum or for, one time, a 1-month committee. Recent committees that have been used, there was a finance committee a couple years ago, and the building, or the school board president at that time looked at the board member who was running it and said it was a waste of their time. I'm only going to listen to the professional that we pay to do it. Why? We're a community. We would like the community to be involved in the decision making in the school. We watch the village board. There's committees for every different function within the village. Within the village, it's a chance for parents and families and community members to become involved in the school district, to feel pride in the school district, and to lend some of their expertise to the school district. So yes, I 100% feel like committees would be valuable to the district, and I'm in favor of adding them. I would like to have a voice. I would like other people to have a voice. It's been asked when I've been out knocking on doors. It's a way of communicating between the district and the community.
Okay. Andrew, this is going to be the last question, and after this question, we'll go to closing remarks. So the last question, and Andrew will answer it first, is what aspects of our school district are you most proud of and why? And, what aspects of our school district are you most proud of and why?
I'm most proud of the community that comes out of the school district, led by the teachers. The teachers are the ones that are with our students each and every day. They're the ones who communicate with us as parents. They're the ones who are teaching our kids. So I'm most proud of just the community that comes out, led by the teachers in the classroom. And it just the fact that we're a walking community, we have eyes on each other. Our kids can feel safe while they're in the community because they know that there's other parents out looking out for them. So I think that the most proud that I feel is of the community, and yeah, in schools and just the safety that I feel that my kids always have somebody watching out, looking over them.
Okay, Ellen?
I don't know if I can just say one thing. I'm not too good at just saying, oh, I don't want. But I am really, really proud of the work that our students do. Our students are doing fantastic things in all of the schools, and they're doing them because of the teachers and the administrators and the parental support and the community support. But when you go to some of the, this can be at the elementary school all the way up. They win prizes, they do veterans, they raise money to send veterans to places. They, like the Home Bridge, the 7th grade science class at SIS, was invited to code to light the Home Bridge. The math team won something, the music team in the intermediate school went and played at the Bucks game. These are really fun things to see. And when every meeting that we have, different schools shine a light on what kinds of things are going on. And students come to present to us. And they're very nervous and they're all excited. And we love hearing what they're doing. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that connection. I'm proud of the work that we do. We have a very well-functioning school board. We learn to work together. We agree, we disagree, we come to consensus, and we follow the direction of our mission, and we think that we're getting there. That's one of the reasons I wanted to continue on the school board, is to continue the work and to maintain the stability of the school board. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the work that we're doing, and I'm proud of all of you for being here this afternoon.
Thank you. Now we're going to go to closing remarks. We have 2 minutes for your closing remarks. And because Andrew did the opening remarks first, Ellen's going to do the closing remarks first.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for this opportunity to talk with you today. Thanks to our organizers. I appreciated the thoughtful questions. It's always good to be thinking about the things that, and to learn what people are asking about. I want to leave you with just these final thoughts. I am uniquely qualified for this position. As an educator in and around Sherwood, as a former village board trustee who understands the connections, the important connections between the school board and the board of trustees, as a parent, and now as grandparent of students in our schools. Sherwood is an intergenerational community, and my diversity of life experiences brings a new and distinctive voice to the board, and it reflects an important stakeholder group in the community. I thought I'd end by sharing some of the things I'm most proud of, though you sort of stole it from me in the last question, of the things that the board has accomplished during my first term, and that I will continue to focus on. We moved out of the pandemic. That wasn't easy. We recognize the trauma of it and the impact it had on all of us. Parents, teachers, students, community members. So I'm excited that we're bringing students, parents, community members back into the schools. I'm proud that we completed the capital referendum on time. It is wonderful to see the improvements that were made, and we're thankful for the fact that the community did it. We passed the operational referendum with strong community support. Over 70% of the community has supported us, finding the funds to maintain the work that we're doing in the school. We've hired an interim and then a permanent superintendent that we're all very proud of. We're doing more outreach to the village board. We're supporting our teachers and staff and administrators in all of their work, including being able to increase salaries and pay attention to hiring and retaining and supporting our teachers with salaries, benefits, and steps and lanes. We're reaching out to parents, students, staff, administrators, community in lots of ways. And of course, we're continuing to focus on providing excellent education for our students. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thanks again for coming out this afternoon and listening to what Ellen and I had to talk about, what our thoughts are with the school district, how we feel like we could improve it or continue the great things that are happening. I think that one thing that I've learned a lot while I've been out campaigning this time, I think I knew it 2 years ago, but I've learned it even more, is that there's kind of two different groups in the district. There's a group of parents, or there's a group of current school parents who are experiencing the school district in the way that we are experiencing this day. There's another group of people in the district who had students here 20 years ago. And I'm doing this based on people I'm talking to. They had students here 20 years ago who telling me, I don't have an experience in the district, but it was great when my kids went there. And I love hearing it was great, because with that community, with that support, we can make this district as great as it was for those students 20, 30, 40 years ago. But I ask that if you do feel like fall into that kind of group of people who don't have a current connection to the district, I ask that you talk to your neighbors, you talk to teachers, you talk to people who are currently experiencing the school district, and ask them, hey, what can I do to help improve this district, move it along, move it forward, not just kind of status quo, stick where it is, declining enrollment, declining scores on state report cards. Ask those community members who have students what they could do or what you can do to help move this district forward. Ask the parents who left the district, why did you leave the district? What can the district do to help bring those students back? I think we need to move forward. We can't just get stuck on, it's always been this way. It hasn't always been this way. So I think that we can move forward, but it's going to take some looking back in order to move forward. Thank you, and please vote on April 2nd.
On behalf of the Charlotte Women's Club and League, thank you to our candidates, Andrew Frey and Alan Eckman, for running for political office and participating in this forum. The League of Women Voters in Milwaukee County reminds you that our democracy depends on citizen involvement. I trust that you all intend to vote on April 2nd, and I hope you will help increase voter turnout by encouraging your friends and neighbors to vote, as well as by arranging for an absentee ballot if needed. I'd like to repeat that the candidate for village board president will be speaking immediately after this and will be introduced by the Shorewood Women's Club. Again, thank you all for attending. Thanks to the candidates, and have a good rest of the day.